But, you know,
no.
it's difficult to spot that when it comes to your supports. Though, let's take a look at our map picks and bans very quickly here to see which map we're going to play on. Drum roll! Come on.
I mean, we could talk very quickly about the bans as well, actually. Club Villa came through for Guts. There you go. Okay. That's somewhat of a surprise.
Wow.
We saw Cafe and Coastline for Cloud9, and then we saw Club and Villa coming out for Guts. So quite different in terms of how they approach the game. And I think Consulate actually leans quite a bit towards Cloud9 in that aggressive side of things.
Okay, let's see what people think about this game. Bring it up.
Let's go.
70%
Who's right? Who's wrong?
Okay.
I think they're wrong, Milosh. I'm just going to point this out very quickly as part of my prediction. The reason I think the viewers are wrong here is that Cloud9 over this phase or this stage thus far have not banned Consulate. So clearly they want to play this map in some way, shape, or form. So get ready for this because I think there's going to be some really fun and crazy kill feeds going on throughout this matchup.
Okay, I think we're ready to go. Let's toss it over to our casters. Game number 3, C9 versus Guts.
Well, welcome. Here we are. C9 versus Guts again. Gio, do you think the viewers are right? Do you think Guts is going to be winning, or are you going to be cheering on for your favorite APAC team?
I think that there's a point that Des made that's pretty accurate, and that is the playstyle of this map just suits Cloud9 a little bit better. If you have a look at the history of these two teams, Cloud9 have always really liked Consulate. Guts, meanwhile, have always favored maps that are a little bit more technical, like the Clubhouse, like the Villa. That's what they've played so far in APAC North, and it's what a lot of their history says. Even if you look at their statistics, everything is very, very objective-based, and Cloud9 are just a little bit more aggressive. So I don't know if the viewers are entirely right. I think it's quite hard to say, but I suspect that this map will work a little bit more in Cloud9's favor.
Well, we'll find out soon. As we're about to go into that first round. It's going to be the Maverick Band to come in first, though, from Cloud9. It's going to be an interesting one. Maybe followed up by a toucher of Guts. I wouldn't be surprised. Even though they will be handicapping themselves quite a bit, and Cloud9 potentially choosing the downstairs straight away.
No, instead they're going to go for a Ying, which is kind of interesting because from what I remember, that hasn't really been played that much. Cloud9 have played Ying on one round so far in APAC North. They were able to win it, but it's not like it's something that's been particularly prominent in much of their gameplay. So it will be interesting to see if that does have much of an effect, especially as that does mean that the Thatcher is now still in play. Valkyrie is going to be the first to be banned for the defensive side by Guts, which leaves Cloud9 to be banning Pulse.
Pulse logical ban down here, especially if you're, of course, playing for that top floor. You want to go for a plant. It's always annoying to get the C4 underneath you, and well, just as well, Pulse can just play in the basement and basically get all the information for free out to the rest of his team. So Valkyrie and Pulse both being banned is going to be denying very much of the information play that could be contained by either of these teams. With that, it might turn out just to be a bit more frag heavy, just on your actual skill and not on information base. So let's say either it's going to be slowing down a bit more, becoming a bit more passive, a bit more of a strategical side of things, or we are going to be seeing a lot of more crazy plays which are not directly being fed by any of the information that will be coming in. But we are going lobby press first. That is an interesting one. I believe, actually, did Cloud9? No, it's not Cloud9. Cloud9 haven't played this yet before, isn't it? I don't think they did, no.
Not so far in APAC North at the very least. You know, what's going to be kind of interesting here is that this, so far from what we have seen of this brand new region, is that for the most part, it's been a very attacker-sided region. But these are two teams that have actually had relatively good defenses compared to a lot of their peers so far. And I'm very interested to see how that's going to work out in this matchup. Guts, as I say, they've had a pretty strong defense. With Cloud9, all we have to do is look back to the game that they played against Q Confirm on Coastline, which they won 7-4. But they were... Oh, that's a very early opening kill. Okay, so Lily's going to be taken straight off the board, and that's kind of just a testament to what we were saying about Cloud9's potential aggression. But Cloud9, they were able to take 3 defensive rounds on Coastline, which of course is an attacker-sided map in this attacker-sided region, and I think that says something not insignificant about their ability here. So obviously it's been a good start so far with that very early kill, but Cloud9 starting on the defense could work out very much in their favor.
It definitely could. If you manage to actually, well, basically stop Guts Gaming in the track straight away, make sure they're not going to get too many attack rounds in. Like, let's just cap it at 2 or 3. We're already going to be at a disadvantage for the region being it, and also for this map, of course, being a bit more attack-sided overall. And Cloud9 starting things off like they just did, getting that entry into Lily, onto the Ash, which is supposed to be the entry of Guts Gaming, is also going to be a good way to start it, as you're basically instantly toning that the aggression that they can put upon you.
What I'm very intrigued about is obviously a lot of this attack is coming in from the west side of the map, but we can see MV Taylor on the Mozzie all the way over on the east. He was in Visa before. Now, one thing that we saw in EU this week is Shepard get very, very good Mozzie C4 on this site from below. If Guts aren't going to clear out the east side of that map, that kind of just leaves MV Taylor uncontested, and maybe he'll be able to come out and do something very similar later. Well, so far, Guts are trying to hold on to these angles. Light knows someone is in there, sending in the lifeline for that stun.
Oh, I bounced back.
Actually gonna stun himself, and that just leaves Nova to get that jump out and bring him down himself. Guts Gaming do get 2 kills in return, but still not the kind of operator you want to be losing in that scenario. 3 versus 3 now, with just 1 minute remaining. Down go the air jabs. The question is, who's going to be able to win it out?
That is indeed the question. Both your main fraggers have now been taken out, and still Guts Gaming not really with the control that they would like to have. Yes, they have Soda, but right now there's going to be 2 people trying to go in right here into Antechamber, but I believe they will be taken down as soon as they go for the swing. And no, actually not. This Crazy Papillon will be able to swap to the Skeleton Key. We'll be finding the dock, but he's going to be watching the wrong angle. Due to that, Crazy able to get that kill without actually any punishment to come in. And even though the strong start from Cloud9, it's all up to Harper right now to clutch out a 1-on-3 situation and make sure that the round will actually come in, but it does not. He will be taken down by Europe with that Nomad, and that will be the first round to go into the favor of Guts Gaming, even though, as mentioned before, it was Cloud9 to get the first 2 entries.
Kind of a shame there that things did sort of go wrong there for Cloud9. It looked promising when Nova was able to take the advantage on the situation that happened with the lifeline, but the thing is, so many of the members of Guts were at that same point in the map, and you would assume that those players of Cloud9 knew where they were, and they should have had at least some kind of intel advantage to not get caught up in those situations. And obviously, we don't know exactly what happened, whether they tried to take the 1v1s, whether they peeked and they got caught out, or whether they simply just had a lapse in communication and didn't entirely know where to expect those players to come from. But you would have hoped that in that scenario in which they could have taken the advantage because of what happened with, I believe it was Light who was playing on the Zephyr. He is this time, so I'm going to go ahead and say it was. The fact that Cloud9 didn't win out in that situation, pretty shameful. There we go. There's that jump out from Nova. He got taken down pretty swiftly. And Crazy Papillon's kill there onto the dock, played by Sweet Black. And again, it was kind of that lack of situational awareness that I think Cloud9 are going to have to up their game on, because I think if they were a little bit better at that in that last round, then they could have very easily taken it.
I mean, he did rappel in like just about 5 to 10 seconds before, so you should have been aware that someone was in Antechamber. You don't really want to peek out on, you put yourself exposed to 2 angles in that case, in that moment in time. So I think it would have been better if he indeed would have been watching the Antechamber door, but in the end he did not. And due to that, was picked up, left Harper all alone in a 1-on-3 situation. As Envy Taylor right now tries to go for another spawn pick. He will be instantly pre-fired. Yes, he will still be alive, but he's not going to be getting what he wants. He's just waiting with his crossbow right there, hoping that he can find an actual drone. Waiting for which window to get open up first, because normally is you shoot open the window from below, you toss that drone through. If you have the crossbow ready in that moment in time, Sweet Black being a bit dangerous right here, very adventurous. Just running past when his window is open, but Crazy Papillon not being able to pick him up yet, Gio.
And it was Sweet Black who got caught out on the dock before, so, you know, it kind of makes you concerned. We did just see that Ash breach charging, going in through the window there into the waiting room, but Harper's retreated back into meeting. Smoke's going to be coming out, but he starts to move on forward, and you can see those drones starting to come through. Given that Cloud9 are running a mute Mozzie, you would hope that Guts don't have too much free intel on this one with the drones, but of course we don't know where especially those Mozzie pests have been placed, and whether Guts have been able to avoid them successfully. And just starting to repel on into the site now, and it looks like JJ is going to go straight in for a defuse. Shell on the stairs, looking to hold back anyone from Guts who might come in from that side of the map, but it certainly looks like that defuse is going to go down. There's the kill on Crazy Papillon, and actually a C4 to follow up onto JJ, but nonetheless, that diffuser did get planted, and Light is there to guide. So there's the trade onto Nova as well. This is going to make it so much harder for Cloud9 to even be able to get back to the diffuser. How does this keep happening?
I'm not sure, but like we saw the jump out right there from Nova, managed to kill one, but didn't realize that Lily was still repelled up as well. And Lily could just instantly pick him up. And then the second jump out onto the balcony, caught off by the Nomad air jab. That's going to be there. Oh, there we go. Another one being caught, but actually not being read in time by the person up on repel. It was, however, I believe it was Lily that was still ready from below to respond right here. Indeed, there you go, finished off. So the air jab's really doing big work right here for Guts Gaming, able to basically single out two of the defenders, trying to go for a little bit of aggression onto, well, the attackers that are repelling up on those windows, making sure that the plant can actually go through. However, they did not deal with them, and thus it was Guts Gaming that will be able to get their second round in after a good use of Nomad. And thus they will be picking it up again, because why not? Why wouldn't you use Nomad again if it works so well in that round?
I have to say, it's somewhat questionable that Cloud9 did go for those plays, given that they knew the Nomad was in play as well. And I mean, it's Consulate, right? Everybody knows that you generally try to prevent jump outs from being made. But regardless, moving on into Cafe and Garage. Now, the Thatcher isn't going to be brought, despite the fact that Bandit is going to be on the board here. But when you're playing with the Buck, for example, you'll be able to just kind of go upstairs. If you take control of Piano, you can shoot out those batteries from above. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue if Cloud9 can hold on to that first floor, or second floor, I guess they call it. Oh no, it is the first floor. I honestly, the fact that we call it different things in the UK always gets me so confused as to what it should be. But then I remember the bottom is in fact the basement and not the first floor. But
we call we call it like ground floor, basically the first floor, and then the second floor will be the first floor. So it's like we count differently. So it's always messes me up a little bit.
Yeah, this here in the UK, we would call this the first floor. But regardless, what is called in the game the first floor, where you do have that public bathroom, you want to be hoping that Cloud9 are going to be able to hold on to that a little bit strongly so that they can't give up that piano control too soon if they want to keep that wall denial.
All right. These discussions aside, as we finally, we realized that both the UK and the Netherlands have that in common. It's going to be Guts Gaming trying to set up their attack. They need to get this control, but right here you see Yura is basically being accompanied by Shao, who's on the other side of this window. And as soon as it goes a bit too aggressive, that window's going to get punched in. Going to be forcing him out. Maybe a drone would have been a better way to solve with it. Like, just try and get that spot out. Go for a little bit of a pre-fire. Shao able to take out a drone, though, as he managed to rotate up to flags. Right now, it is Light wanting to deal with him. But again, concussion that bounces back. It's the second time now that's happened on the likes of Guts Gaming. It's going to be harder to start things up and taking down Lily, but in the meantime, top floor is slowly being established.
You can see that default cam has been used pretty well there by Cloud9 to provide the intel to those members up on the top floor so that they know when those attackers are going to be coming in, and that's what allowed MV Taylor to be able to get that kill. Shot's going to be coming in from behind for Yura. This is a player who showed up quite a bit on the first day, getting a decent number of kills, but it's actually going to be Crazy Papillon who gets the next one. Shell's going to be falling. He's one of those top fraggers there for Cloud9. Is he going to be able to get the second kill? Doesn't quite look like it. Instead, he's going to use the skeleton key to open up the waiting room door. Can he get the shot through the wall? Still no, it looks like, as MV Taylor clears up JJ.
And JJ trying to push up on those yellow stairs to attempt an assist to Crazy Papillon. That was trying to put some pressure down onto the Mozzie from above. However, instead, he loses his life. And it's going to be Guts Gaming right now in a 2-4 situation where 50 seconds left. They will have to find a way to go for their execute. The diffuser has been recovered, so that's a start. They still don't know whether or not the first floor is going to be clear or not, where they can go, what they can enter, and especially where their execute has to be coming from, because they do not have any hard breach left. All they can do is really push down the stairs or go down from spiral into that hallway.
It's certainly been troublesome here for Guts Gaming that they haven't been able to clear out those upper floors. And now Yura's kind of flying blind somewhat. There's the smoke that's going to hold him back and also prevent him from being able to see any of his opponents. But Crazy Papillon going down as well. Yura's now on his own. He's got 13 seconds remaining and doesn't have the diffuser. He's just got to go for the kills, but he gets caught out. Envy Taylor finishing things up there, and that'll be Cloud9 taking their first round.
How'd he get up here, Envy? I've never seen this spot before. All right.
He's just chilling.
He's just chilling.
Just vibing.
I mean, he's a small man, Mozzie, so I mean, I guess he can get up there. Like, gets a little bit of a boost of his teammate and then, you know, just hide there. Well, 2-1 nonetheless. Cloud9, they managed to get their first round in after, well, their first round was kind of successful at the start, but they couldn't really stick it near the end. Guts Gaming able to take 2 in a row after that. Finally managed to respond and will now be forced to go up to console meeting. Yet again, they lost it last round. Like, not the last round, but the round before that. And let's see whether or not they are going to be bringing any adaptations to make sure that they can properly deal with the utility that Guts Gaming brings out, especially these air jabs that are limiting them so much. And really the only way you can deal with it, especially on that balcony right here that Nova is now punching open, is go for a double jump out. One baits the air jab, the other one goes right after to go for the actual kill. But it's still quite risky to do so. You need to be perfectly aware of where that player is if you want to do that.
One of the issues that Cloud9 faced when on this site last time, which if you think back was to round 2, was that Guts really had the free opportunity to repel there into CEO and just get the plant off. And it made it very difficult for Cloud9 to be able to deal with anything in that situation. They need to be a lot more vigilant about what's happening in that area of the map. There were some of those, what we thought might be lapses in communication, but ultimately we'll never know for sure. And I think, you know, over the course of the last couple of rounds, especially there on the cafeteria garage, it looked like they were communicating a lot better with one another. And that's something that I want to be seeing here. Light just looking there into the balcony windows, seeing if there's anyone in meeting that he can see. And Harper's just going to be waiting there in the corner, so he shouldn't be caught out here.
All he has to do is just patiently sit there and wait. Just hold for someone to either jump in or put some pressure from below. And right here is going to be a spot to come through. However, Envy Taylor not able to land the shots necessary to take down Lily. And with that, we're still left in a 5-on-5 situation with 2 minutes left on the clock. It's Envy to rotate around, go up on the Visa stairs yet again to come and assist the rest of his team. But in the meantime, there's going to be some Visa pressure as well to come down from the likes of Guts Gaming. I believe that is actually Yura. Or Light located indeed. Yura and JJ located around this area. We'll be going for an admin take. It looks like the drone of Light and Yura both trying to get the information whether or not it's clear. Great to break it, but yes it is. She can actually enter. Just have to be careful for Sweet Black to not aggressively peek out with that Elda. Pick you up from there. And Envy Taylor still on the contest right here. And now we will actually get the kill. He's been here for a full 1 minute 30, Gio.
Very patient play there, but they really knew what was happening. As soon as Light sent in his drone to meeting, that was when the smoke came out and forced Lily to turn around and try and make that rotation. Harper going to be falling on the side of Cloud9. That evens things up somewhat, but I say that, in fact, Sweet Black's going to be joining him too. Suddenly this defense is significantly weaker. You have a pretty solid attacking lineup here, especially as they still have drones in their pocket. And Light, you can just see, still continuing to drone into the site. That allows JJ this opportunity to begin to move forward. They're aware that Nova is waiting there in waiting room, and that's why that lifeline is going to be tossed in, hopefully guiding JJ in and giving him the opportunity. This is going to make Nova a little bit more concerned, but Xiao's going to be going down in the meantime. JJ starting off with the plant. 1v1s here occurring in console. And that's going to be Yura falling. Suddenly everything's coming out. Light, he'll be going down, but Guts Gaming, they were able to get the diffuser, and they were able to get that final kill, securing them the round.
Definitely good work right here coming out from Guts Gaming. Even though, well, they might have been in a disadvantage at some point in the round, they still managed to bring it back and show the strength of their attacks, especially on Consulate, which is catering a bit more towards that attack-sidedness of the game sometimes, especially with the, well, not really, especially with these bends to come in. Yes, of course, you're still losing out on that Valkyrie and on that Pulse. That is a lot of information you're not going to be able to use, but you're still working with big choke points that you need to hold off. And well, information definitely helps, but it's not quite crucial to make sure no one's going to be able to come through admin. Like, admin control is so important on this map. I'm kind of confused on why it's not being contested as hard as it could potentially be. Like, no one is sitting there on the likes of Cloud9, especially in that round. Maybe they're there early on, but then they just fall off straight away. And there's so many good places you can hide right there. You can waste so much time. Make sure that they're like, because they only started to take admin with like 90 seconds left, right? If you're still present right there in admin, you're going to be holding off 2 of the players right there and basically like creating a numbers advantage for the rest of your team that is actually dealing with the execute on site. So I think that's a big takeaway right here. I'm not sure if it was the specific strat of Cloud9 to not deal with it, but Guts Gaming, they read it quite well, knowing that that was open, and it just creates so much more lines of sight, so much more pressure points onto the defenders with this entire hallway, with the flanks and long bar hallway to be opened up. I think it's quite crucial to hold it, but Cloud9 chose not to.
We are seeing, of course, Envy Taylor. He spent a lot of time up here, but he does make relatively early rotations out, and that's when we start to see him in other parts of the map. Be interesting to see if he decides. No, he is going to be... Oh no, he's looping back around.
He's still around. Okay,
he's looping back around, but it is interesting because Cloud9 this time have opted to bring the Ela, which was not something that they brought last time they came to lobby, if I remember correctly. So it'll be interesting to see if those Gujmots make any kind of a difference and potentially prevent the speed of the push that's been made by Guts Gaming so far. Cloud9 have really struggled against a lot of that aggression that's been placed onto them. Not quite going to get that shot light, so you're going to have to rappel down and just make sure you're safe for now. Cloud9 do have a pretty bad habit of just running in front of lines of sight, though, and it's led them to a number of unnecessary deaths, but actually this time it's going to be Envy Taylor getting that opening kill, and JJ, he's been carrying the diffuser so many times, this time being held by Crazy Papillon, so they don't have to worry about that, but it's a key member there. That Hibana, gone. That hard breach, gone.
That's exactly what I mean. It shows how important like the admin control can be. You can hide in so many places. It's so easy to miss someone right there with your drone if you don't do it properly. And then as soon as they start rappelling in, they're like a sitting duck really. And you can just take them down one by one. And well, Envy Taylor managed to take down one, not the second, but still a lot of time wasted right there. And we're still not going to be sure whether or not it's going to be clear. Lily, however, will be finding a response. We'll be taking on Harper, looking to wanting to jump in as soon as this smoke clears out. As right now that is of course possible as the smoke has been taken out. There's a lot of reinforcements on that side of the wall, meaning that only from connector there is really any congestion to come in. And this top 4 control is quite crucial if you want to go for the lobby eventually. Right now Guts Gaming, they have that top 4 control to some extent. It's just Shao right here on the top of the yellow. Potentially make something happen. We'll be spotting one player to rotate out, and does he decides to go a bit more aggressive? He has the opportunity to do that now. I think that's a good call, as this allows him to potentially make sure there's no more top pressure to come down as soon as they want to go for that plant. Air jump is being deployed, and he's going to get blasted out right before he can get the actual down on the planter. And that means, oh, last second it gets taken out by the diffuser. It's Envy Taylor to come in clutch right here. And with that 25 seconds left on the clock, it's only a 2-on-3. Cloud9 are in a numbers disadvantage, but they're getting the pinks to try and solve it, but it's only Shao now as the pre-fire is being missed. You saw Envy Taylor going actively for those pings, but he wasn't able to find them yet. And with these last 10 seconds, it is the diffuser that goes down, meaning the clock will be reset to 45. He needs 7 to get this defuse down. There is no sticking it after 0-0-0. Shao needs to make a move. He needs to get these 3 kills in if he wants to get this round to go towards Cloud9. Otherwise, it's going to be Guts Gaming to take it, Gio.
Well, sitting here too patiently is just going to allow time to tick down, but he knows that there are various angles from which these 3 players can come. Highly unlikely, I would imagine, that he's going to be able to get all of them, but time is about twice the 7 seconds that are required. Not quite going to be able to deal enough damage there. Checking the yellow stairs area, but at this point, all hope is lost for Cloud9. Guts Gaming, they're going to be able to secure another round for themselves. But Hap, I have to say, the big thing that stands out to me from this round is the fact that Nova didn't see that air jab come out, and maybe it was a heat of the moment type thing, but he moved forward just too slightly right as the air jab was
think he
deployed.
did.
Well,
I
he
think he
got
did
caught up
see
in it nonetheless. I was going to
Yeah.
say around the time, like, you know, Cloud9, they're in a decent position where they can kind of swarm around and protect where Guts Gaming could begin to drop down onto the site and get these angles on. And suddenly you find yourself in that situation. Maestro's no longer there, and Guts Gaming have their in. And that's exactly what happened. And not a great situation there for Cloud9.
So what I think happened there is that he did indeed see, because you see that bright yellow laser, right? You know an airdrop is going to be deployed in that case, but he knew that the planter was already going down. So if he stays and shoots the airdrop, the planter will go down, and well, then kind of your whole objective of trying to stall that one out has been like is gone, right? So he tried to go aggressive, and he would have had enough time if he actually hit his shot a bit earlier, because he missed the first couple of them. And after that, he got blasted out by the air jab. So, like, I think he made the right because as soon as you go out for this peek to try and peek that planter, you know you're dead anyway because it's being covered from that door. It's basically a suicide mission in that case, right? You're just going for it. You know that your only objective is to stop that planter from going down, and you die right after. It's 9 out of 10 times how it goes. And he tried to go for that. The airdrop was already being deployed in his back, and the only real option he had was to go aggressively, try and stop the plant from happening. Unfortunately, he did not. It was MV Taylor to instantly come after it with a C4 though. But if he did, then the C4 could have been used for a second plant attempt, and then the round could have been in favor of Cloud9. So I get the plan that he had right there. Unfortunately, it did not work out.
Well, the thing worth bearing in mind about this team is, or these two teams rather, is that whoever loses is going to get their first loss so far in the competition. They've both been doing very well. Guts, despite coming 4th in the Japanese Pro League Season 11, are actually the strongest Japanese team right now, at least on paper. And Cloud9, they are standing at the top of the Koreans. So both of them have got a title they want to defend. C4 for rotate?
Yeah, rotation.
So
it's always a bit painful.
It's always kind of heartbreaking when you know it's got to be used for that, but you know, needs must. But regardless, one of these teams is going to be suffering heartbreak, and right now it looks like it could be Cloud9. Now, last time they came to this site back on round 3, they were able to win it, and so far that's been the only round that they have been able to win. And a lot of it came from the fact that Guts were really struggling to clear out the top 2 floors. Bringing this Jackal might actually help that, but Harper, using his own C4, will bring Lily down. That means that opening kill does go to Cloud9, but they've been doing that a couple of times happen. I don't want to jump on it too soon and say it's going to give them too big an advantage anymore.
No, definitely not. Lily seems to be having that urge to die a bit early on. It's not the first time it's been the opening kill. Every single time, either a spawn peek or a C4, something like that to take him down. But still, Guts Gaming able to get themselves together and play with the disadvantage they have, and maybe even turn it around in the strength. Like Cloud9 might be thinking, all right, we got it, we got the opening kill. Because often it's a real big deal, but then Guts Gaming on the attack, something that clearly suits them well on Consulate right here, is still able to pincer out these players as trades are not being set up properly for Cloud9. As you see right here, it's Sweet Black to be taken down. No one is there to respond, and suddenly you're back in a 4-on-4. And I think that's the big issue right here. There is no trades being made. It's just people playing single, like individuals sitting in these positions, and no one is there to respond to it.
Well, this means now the Guts Gaming have had a better... All right, goodbye, MV Taylor. Guts Gaming have had a better go at clearing out those upper floors. So now we're going to see the anti-chamber floors start to be opened up and this pressure be applied vertically. Yura falling as well to Xiao. It's a good pick there from Cloud9. And there's not that much time left remaining. So even though Guts have had a good time so far, they've still got to get down here onto the site. JJ, he's beginning to make the plant. Is Harper going to be able to get any of these members of Guts? They're starting to move in. Him and Xiao. Xiao doesn't win out that fight though. JJ's going to be getting it. The shots onto the yellow stairs, do come out, but not going to amount to anything. And suddenly this post-plant situation is all down to Harper. He's got to get the 2K, but isn't even able to get one. Guts Gaming, 5-1 at the half.
Definitely. And then you think with 10 seconds left, surely they would be going aggressive to make sure that plan doesn't happen. But when way too late right there, and well, there was still Goyo shields and everything available. All you had to do was just quickly shoot one bullet into them because it was right next to that white van, and he would have been able to actually stop that plant from happening. So Guts Gaming not even having to deal with all the utility that is being brought right here by Cloud9, as they just gun themselves through and manage to hide themselves in, make sure there's no information on the likes of Cloud9 to actually act upon. And because of that, they seem to be taking the advantage right here. And Cloud9 right now, they're in a 5-1 trail. They need to step it up right here. They are bringing that Nomad straight away. So we're going Cafeteria Garage. You gotta keep in mind that we are, of course, playing the downstairs area first. No IQ being brought, but a Dokkaebi is going to be able to potentially make it a bit more easy to deal with these roamers or go for a last second execute. Having that sound cue, of course, that sound aid to let you know exactly where these players are.
Very characteristic of Cloud9 to choose to bring the Dokkaebi. Something that we've seen a number of times from them, not just here in the APAC North League, but also going back into Pro League. So if they can make that work for them and have it facilitate them being able to clear out those roamers, then that should be great. We've spoken about how they're an aggressive team. They did have a tough time on the defense, but they've still been pretty successful at getting most of those entry kills. And that was something that I mentioned at the beginning as well, as we would always look for Cloud9 to be able to get that. So maybe on the attack, they'll be able to make that work out pretty well for them. The Thatcher is being brought along as well. No direct wall denial here for the garage door, but you do have the mute Mozzie, which you'll be wanting to deal with, especially those mute jammers, which are going to, well, I say no direct wall denial. I mean from electrification, but there will be the mute jammers, of course. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Don't worry about it. As, is this going to be a mirror trick? Yes, it is. Oh, this is so smart. Just tricking the exothermic with the mirror. That's spicy indeed. I'm not sure if you're meant to actually put the mirror down there, but it definitely got the job done. And you see Nova being a bit disappointed right now, thinking, all right, this is my exothermic. And now they also have visual, so they know what we're going to be trying to trick right here. There's not going to be any anything to come in though. There's no electrification and also a mute jammer to put that down now. Like, it's going to be kind of hard. You cannot really juggle it as well as you. Did team damage? No. Okay, it looked like a bit of team damage to come down, but eventually in the end it did not. But really well played by the mirror right there, whether intentional or not. Oh, JJ.
Yeah, this presence here is going to make it so hard for Cloud9 to attempt to take that piano control. And that 2K from JJ says all you need to know. Suddenly, the garage door is basically impossible to break into. And trying to break in here through this first floor is really going to be an uphill battle. Half the round pretty much is gone. And Cloud9 are yet to really enter in. Charles looking there onto the yellow stairs. Finally able to get the garage door open is Nova. At least that worked out for him in the end, as that first loss of the exothermic charge was rather heartbreaking there for Cloud9. Just over a minute to go, and they can start to make their move in.
Yeah, indeed. Slowly start moving down, and they are in a bit of a disadvantage, of course, knowing that 2 of their members are gone. No more phone calls to come out from Harper, and right now it seems to be a 3-way push to come in. Nova's just going through the side. Shal together as well right there, but it's going to be the drops to come in. It's only Crazy... Oh, no. Crazy Papillon dies as well. It's Cloud9 to pick up the round. A quick, swift yay coming in right there from Shal, just signaling that with his gun. But even though they were at a big disadvantage right there, they managed to still clinch it all together at the end, as they just went for the execute. They went for the kills instead of the plant, which was the right choice in the end.
A very aggressive collapse into the site there, and it did work out, of course, for Cloud9. I said they are a more aggressive team, but there's only so many times that can work out for you, and Guts Gaming so far have been fairly good at being vigilant and paying attention to what is happening on the side of the opposing team, and that means that next time they may be prepared for something like that. Once again, now going to lobby and press, they are choosing to bring the mirror again, alongside the Ella as well. So this is a slightly different approach to how Cloud9 went about it when they were on the defense. Instead, there's going to be a lot more kind of bunkering down, I suspect. And hopefully for their sake, it'll make it a lot harder for Cloud9 to be able to break in, because from what it looked like in that last round, Cloud9, as soon as they can wrench open the crack in the armor, they can force themselves through. So you need to ensure that the armor is pretty well reinforced from the get-go, and it looks like that's what Guts is going for.
They're choosing a sign, however, that is quite accessible, but that might also be the danger right here for Cloud9, that they think, all right, it's really accessible, we can just easily go in. Maybe Guts Gaming setting up all these verticals, as you can clearly see, might be able to shut them down because of that. The way that these verticals are created are to make sure that as soon as someone wants to rappel up, you can instantly take them down. There's nothing they really can do against it. So with that, you basically make it a lot more secure to have these windows on this first floor located the way they are, as you can actively contest them from above. And well, we all know it, high ground always has the advantage. It's not only in real life, also in these games, because you just see you can shoot from top down. You know, it's easier to hit the head like that, whilst the defender or the people from below will first shoot the feet. So because of that, the defenders, as long as they have top floor control. What's this, by the way, with everything just bouncing off, these stuns and the concussions, seems to be kind of hard to actually get them through the window today.
Yeah, and in this kind of meta where you really rely on using those sorts of things to get rid of some of that utility, you don't want to be wasting a flash like that. Yeah, EMP was able to go off, and that's going to allow Xiao to start getting this angle over towards meeting. It was just Crazy Papillon sitting in there, so the question is to when it's going to be that he rotates is something else. But a lot of Cloud9 pretty much all coming in from this admin side of the map, really overwhelming it. Now you're starting to see them make a rotation. Actually, Crazy Papillon wasn't dislodged, so he hasn't moved back down to site. That means that there's still 3 players from the defensive side sitting up here on this top floor that Cloud9 haven't cleared out.
4.
And over half, 4 in fact. There you go. And over half the round is gone. They're going to be going in from below, but I mean, is that really going to be enough? How much time have they really got available to them realistically to try and make a plant and move on into the site?
I could have just opened it up a bit better for Crazy Papillon here. The idea was to actually remove this table, as it's quite bullet resistant. Not completely, of course. Just tries to go for a little bit of a bang right there. You see basically no damage being done onto Papillon. C4 comes out, blows him right off the balcony. Puts him to sleep, and with that is going to be the entry from Guts Gaming to go in. We Sweet Black left up top to try and challenge this out. We see in the meantime Yura to rotate back down to aid Lily on side, because it seems like a horizontal execute is about to come through. Actually, he's all the way below. He might be going for a complete flank into Visa, and with that coming to the flank of Envy Taylor. It'd be quite huge if that is going to be the case, but it seems Envy seems to be aware of this fact, as he will be going for a pre-fire, will be able to land that kill, and with that draw things back up in a 4-on-4 situation. These last 10 seconds, the plant now needs to come down. It's Sweet Black to go for a little bit of a pre-fire, but there's still another person upstairs to try and assist. The plant will be dropped down. It's Harper to fall. It's only up to Envy Taylor in this moment in time, but he will be shut down by the Scorpio Evo of JJ. And with that, Guts Gaming will fight themselves up to a match point, and, well, not series, as it's just one map, but they're going to have 4 consecutive ones, I believe, right now, to try and get this win in and put Cloud9 down on a 2-1 win-loss.
It was a very swift finish there from Guts Gaming, and I find it incredibly interesting that part of the reason that really went wrong for Cloud9 was Crazy Papillon as a human being individual took up so much of their utility. There was the failed flash. There was the failed lifeline onto the table in meeting. Okay, that meant that they had to try in and table bang, I suppose, the damage into him. That didn't work either. He was able to get that free C4 straight off onto Xiao, who was playing on the Zafia. He took up so much of their time, so much of their efforts and energy, because also remember, the EMP went out so that they could open the wall and try and get an angle into that room. So much of the round was spent on that one player, and he was able to get a kill out of it, and he wasn't brought down at all. Cloud9 then had to make a rotation, go in for the site, and suddenly there were all these players from Guts Gaming at various parts of the map because they hadn't been cleared out, who were able to just collapse in on them, make that swarm in, and very easily clean things up. It was a really, really messy round there from Cloud9, and if they have any hope of turning things around here while they're on match point, they're gonna have to, you know, snap it up and get it, tighten the ropes, whatever it is they say. They need to run a much stricter ship because you can't go about a round like that again. You can't be wasting things like that.
Definitely not, and I think that Cloud9, they kind of surrendered their top 4 attempt to gain control a bit too soon. As you saw, there was still 4 people up there, or 3 people near the end of the round, able to contest. And as soon as, well, I mean, Sweetblack tried to go for it, but as soon as he takes one gunfight, it's 2 other people peeking in, and basically nothing you can do. Really good EMP to come down right there. We'll be removing the ADS that Lily had with him. Due to that, it's now susceptible to grenades to potentially go down. However, there isn't, right? They still have the concussions, they have the impacts, but is most likely to assist in such a situation when finally a push would be coming out. These stuns will actually go through and make him get a little bit concussed. As Sweetblack now robes in, probably wasn't hurt due to the fact that the concussion just went off a bit before that. Shal, however, will be able to pick up 1, pick up 2 actually as he rotates up these yellow stairs, and then just takes off the head cleanly of JJ as well. Knows that he's going to be flanked. Squad kill to come in. Beautifully played. Needs to find one more who is on the long desk / spiral. Is he going to be aware of this? No, he's not. But the pre-fires are going to be coming in. The pings are as well. He is hungry for it, but he will not be getting it. It's like to go for a double kill right here with 35 seconds left on the clock. He is being called right here by Harry to tell him to up his tempo, to up the game and make sure that they manage to get this round in. The boss of Team 6 really wants to see Maestro shine right here. Going to be the pre-fires to come in left, right, and center. He has the Aldi, he has the LMG. He's not going to be able to find the third. It's Cloud9 to win that one and bring it back just a small bit. It's 6-3 right now. Only 3 rounds more to force the overtime. Guts Gaming have 3 more opportunities of closing this one out.
Cloud9 really won the intel game there. They still had the drones remaining, and even when they started to get on the rappel, they forced Lily into a position where he really had 3 different angles that were looking onto him. There was Shal on the yellow stairs window, you had the Thatcher, Sweetblack, who was on the bathroom window, and then there was another player who was on the console window as well. And so it really meant that he was going to get caught out one way or another, and once they were in, they were able to get a number of kills, as we saw Shal filling up the kill feed. And that made things a lot easier there for Cloud9. Now, of course, things did turn around somewhat, but when you're at that 3 versus 1 at the end there, then you evidently do have the advantage in that situation, and they were able to get the plant down. And that was a great round there from Cloud9, especially in comparison to what happened in the previous round, which we don't really like to talk about. But going back down to Cafe here, now we're still, of course, on match point. If Guts Gaming take this round, then they do take the entire series. And we remember what happened in the last time that we came here with that mirror window trick, getting rid of the exothermic just by placing the mirror window very, very carefully. So, you know, I'm interested to see if something like that is going to be used again, or if they're not going to, you know, it's one of those things that was like, it worked once, we're going to let it be. But it did slow down Cloud9's push significantly, and also the amount of presence from Guts that was up here in this antechamber piano area made it much harder for Cloud9 to actually push in and take control. In the end, they had to kind of try and do it by brute force, and it just didn't work out for them. So if Guts Gaming can repeat that, then they should be able to take this map pretty cleanly. But if Cloud9 can keep up the adaptation and improvement that we saw from the last round, then maybe this will drag on a little bit longer.
It really feels like it's an intentional mirror trick, actually. If you look at Yuri, still has one in pocket and is slowly removing. Like, look, here he is, actually. Yeah. Just wanted to get it down there for the information game, but not eventually able to trick another exothermic with it. That would be kind of ridiculous if that was the case, of course. Like, Nova would really be beating himself up over that one, losing 2 of your exothermics to black windows to be placed down by Yuri.
I just want to note also that Guts Gaming are running 4 C4s. So, you know, forcing Cloud9, yeah, if they're gonna be trying to come from the top down, they're gonna really be facing some trouble there, because that is not something that's gonna be fun for them to go against.
So keep in mind, a lot of the doors actually barricaded. It's going to be given a lot of information to the likes of Guts Gaming on where they are actually pushing from. Shal opens up one. then instantly drops down again. So it's going to be giving away some of the information as the hatch drop now comes in, as Light has been droned. Moves into antechamber slowly. Wants to get control of this main lobby, sees no one is actually peeking there, now finds himself up onto this public bathroom hatch. We'll be dropping it back on site, we'll be supporting the rest of his team. Might be a bit of an early drop, a preemptive drop, but if you look at it right now, you see Charles already holding off onto that hatch, onto Piano, making sure no one is rotating in that. So I think he had the right timing to do so. There was not really any more time he could stall. C4 being tossed up from above will not be dealing enough damage to Harper. He was quite close. You can see really that without the lack of the guidance of a pulse, these C4s become a lot less effective and a lot more just hope that they hit someone in the end. Really like the position Yura is playing in right now. He's vulnerable from the drone hole, but this C4 right here, if you manage to get it in quite well, potentially be getting up 1 kill, maybe 2 if they push up these yellow stairs. He wants to rotate out, but the drone keeps on spotting him, so they know exactly where he is. So he's basically stuck. As MP Taylor will start things up and taking down JJ in the back.
And suddenly Yura's finding himself being trapped in. He has to throw out the C4 because it's pretty close to the possibility of death here if he gets caught out. It didn't get anything though, and now he's going to be facing those members of Cloud9. MP Taylor getting his second kill there, and suddenly Yura is going to be forced out by the smoke. Not able to land any shots as Harper finishes him off, and Cloud9, they've been able to enter into the site by brute force. Nova starting to place the diffuser here, and that leaves Lily in security to try and get what he can, but he's very low HP now, and he's just being surrounded. Really no hope left for Guts Gaming at the end there, and Cloud9, they are insistent upon extending this series.
Definitely, they don't want to give up yet, as they are fighting to stay in. They're fighting to force the OT to happen. And, well, they're only 2 more rounds away from it, but it's going to be Guts Gaming. They have the opportunity to go literally everywhere they please right now. You only need to get 1 more round in, and they choose to go for one of their attempts to lobby press to hopefully bring it in there. Envy Taylor has basically been the pain point of Guts Gaming. As you can see, currently 13 on 6. Been really effective on the fragging, especially not last round, but the round before, where he managed to get a quad kill by just walking up the yellow stairs and rolling it from there. Basically got all these kills from 2 angles. It's really something you do not want to have against you as a defender. They need to shut him down some way. Not quite sure how they will be doing that as of yet, as right now, MV Taylor will be on that Nomad, making sure that potential jump outs are going to be punished straight away. So Guts Gaming not going to be as free as they were the last time around right here in Lobby Press.
Envy Taylor's an interesting player because if you look historically at the way he's played in Korea, he's always been very good at playing independently and requiring less of that support from his teammates, and that's always allowed his teammates to be able to provide more support to each other. Even if you go back and you look at some of the games that were played in the Korean Open Championship, which really wasn't all that long ago, a couple of months ago, I don't remember the exact date, but it is very evident that that was the kind of playstyle that he was playing with, and when they beat Talon Esports in the grand finals, that was one of the big reasons why Cloud9 could have people like Harper and Nova working very closely together, because Envy Taylor was always off doing his own thing. But Guts Gaming, they are going to have to figure out how to deal with him if he's going to continue to be a problem. JJ here is just waiting here by the hatch, looking down to see what's below, but also wanting to hold any of those angles. Can't quite get the drone. It's still there. It's right behind him.
It's definitely still right behind him. Information being gained, and just want to quickly point out, even though Sweet Black is doing his job as the support, getting all these EMPs in the right places, however, yet to still find a kill after these 10 rounds. Currently 0-0-8. Still working on this cost though. As Yura right here is trying to actually contest him. Will be tanked down just a small bit, but not enough to actually make him too afraid. His phone is being turned off slowly. 2 minutes left on the clock. Guts Gaming still with plenty of top floor control right here. This is the double pinch to come through. Envy Taylor will be picking up JJ right here. It's going to be quite a huge one to start off yet again. As Shell on that Zofia will be pushing down the stairs right now. See Cloud9, they want to take control of Piano, it looks like, especially with the way they're currently set up. They're still afraid of people potentially being upstairs, which is indeed the case. Yura on top of the spiral is not being contested as of yet. And if they don't deal with him, he could be coming in the flank later on in this round, and that could be quite detrimental, especially if there is no flank hold on the yellow stairs.
You have to also remember that they're focusing a lot here, but Crazy Papillon's still sitting there upstairs in meeting. Light's managing to get Xiao. So that's going to be one down there for Cloud9, and we've seen what Xiao can do. He got that 4K earlier on. Pretty impressive there. But evidently not going to be a part of this round any longer, and it's going to weaken the push that Cloud9 have available to them. Lily's just hanging tight here in the bathroom, and Cloud9, they want to make their way in, but they can't be too hasty about it because they know they're going to get caught out. Nova's going to go for the plant anyway. Maybe that can try to draw Lily out as he's closer to the site. He can get caught out, but no, instead, he's going to be catching out Sweet Black. There is that trade there as Euro goes down, and things are going to start to go backwards and forwards, but there's only 2 members of Cloud9 left. If they aren't able to win this round out, then they will be forfeiting the entire series, and the win will go to Guts. Envy Taylor evening things out though, and Light is very low. There's that air jab. Envy Taylor getting another. He's on fire this round so far, and if Light can't win, as he doesn't, Cloud9 will continue things on.
Again, Envy Taylor with this last one right here. They had the idea to go for a double jump out, but it wasn't timed well. Smoke went first, got blasted out, but the Meister was not there yet to instantly go for a response, and due to that, he ran out straight after, going for pre-fires on default repel spots, etc. But Envy Taylor already rotated around the corner of the map, wasn't going to be able to be pre-fired, and instantly, as soon as the spot came through, was able to get that kill, and right now putting Cloud9 on that 6-5 scoreline. Nova just going very deep, make sure that he gets that plan down. Euro wasn't able to respond with the mirror window right there. Couldn't actually spot him. There was no C4 probably available to toss it right into that corner. And right now, we're only 1 round away from potentially going to overtime right here. As Cloud9 are looking to make the comeback happen. Guts Gaming still have one more opportunity, though, to prevent that from happening, as they choose to go garage yet again. And the one thing that comes to my mind right here is the fact that there is no electrification to come through to try and deny the termite. You are playing that mirror window on that, so you would know exactly where they're trying to place it, right? So as long as you hold off onto the yellow stairs, you should be safe on actually making sure that this wall remains closed. You could waste so much more time by, for example, maybe even changing out the Castle to go down to a Bandit or a Kaid, as Kaid is of course a bit more flexible in his way of tricking. Of course, requires you to be a bit predictive about when the plant of the exothermic is actually going to be coming down, as it takes a little bit longer to actually fuse. But right now, Cloud9, they will be going up to a side. They managed to win, I believe, right now 2 times out of the 2 times it's played, Gio.
Very true, and you can tell the Guts Gaming are going for a different approach here. You mentioned that they've chosen to bring a castle this time. It suggests that they're going to try and go for a slightly heavier roam game and be able to catch some of those flanks, because Cloud9 so far have been able to very aggressively push up onto this site. But also bringing the Vigil as well, it's going to help deny some of that intel that Cloud9 have been able to very successfully gather for themselves. We've seen the sorts of issues that Guts have had with their drones, and the fact that even later on in some of these rounds, Cloud9 have been able to take drones that they still have remaining in pocket and use them later on, and it's worked out pretty well for them. So maybe having that Vigil will help keep Guts in the know a little bit more and have that advantage over Cloud9, especially as they are once again bringing the Dockerby, which is going to provide them with even more information.
Not really sure why the ERC7 being used right now, as it would only give away the position that indeed Lily is there with his Vigil. Like, often I think that the ERC7 could be utilized way better than it normally does by teams, as a lot of teams actually use it preemptively to make sure they wouldn't get droned out, but they still know that the particle effect is going to be there. So I think it's more of an effect that when you're actively getting droned, then you activate it so they wouldn't get the exact location as Shell. We'll be starting things off again. It's going to be JJ Dome to be around the corner right here, hoping to get one, but he won't be able to do so. Shell with his double kill, Harper to pick up one as well, and it's looking like we might be going to OT, as there is going to be 80 seconds left for Yura and Lily to endure. They need to make sure that this is going to be their map, and well, it's only up to them. There's no more support for them from their teammates, and as Lily is slowly being droned out, that ERC7 was used at the exact right moment. They're seeming to be dodging each other right now, and that would allow Lily to just sneak past and potentially go for a big flank. Envy Taylor unaware of this, but he's going to be careful of it. He knows that a potential flank could be coming in, and Lily seems to be reading right into it. as it's only left to Yura now. Envy Taylor picking up that one, absolutely going huge so far in this matchup. And Cloud9 can thank him from being as effective as he is, because that is basically keeping them alive right now.
This time not even having to attempt to get a plant. Cloud9 take themselves into overtime. They brought down the man count so low there on the side of Guts Gaming. It put a lot of pressure onto them. And of course, with Envy Taylor holding onto that angle across Visa, there was really not all that much the Vigil was going to be able to do. Yura, I was thinking maybe would have a chance. He's been able to get some pretty good kills so far, but ultimately it wasn't coming to anything. So moving into our first overtime round, of course, here in APAC North, we don't do draws, we fight to the death. And these two teams, as I stated earlier, Hap, the best in Korea right now and the best in Japan right now will really be fighting to the death. They want to prove that they are the best. Well, it is dark. This is serious, Hap, because neither of these two teams have had a loss yet. So currently they're representing the top of their respective sub-regions. And so far I've had nothing to really challenge that. Now they're coming up against each other, and one of them has to lose and one of them has to win, and one of them is going to get the glory of that. Now, Cloud9 here on the defense, they are deciding to bring the bandit. It's something that they did do when they played on their cafe defenses previously on the other half, all the way back when they were on the defense before. It wasn't a huge deal though for Guts, who didn't opt to bring a Thatcher back then, and they aren't this time. Instead, they're going to be playing with 3 of those key soft destructors. We saw the Ash the Zephyr, particularly popular right now, but fallen off the wagon somewhat after losing those nades, but he's going to be coming back in as well. But with the Jackal and therefore the Inox available to you, they could get some of that intel on the positioning of the players there on Cloud9 and prevent some of that aggression that they've been able to see come out of them so successfully.
We just quickly mention that Envy Taylor right now is 18 on 6, using a 3 KD right here in this matchup so far. And on the other hand, we have Sweet Black still trying to find his first kill. So we have like the two extremes, both on Cloud9 right here. And you would really imagine like how this game have went if Sweet Black was actually not having such an off game as he seems to be having right now, as somehow Envy Taylor not being tagged up by that perfect trace through the window.
No, he's going to be left still standing. If he is left still standing much longer, then maybe he'll make that 18 and 6 go all the way up. But he's actually going to be dropping down here, moving along through the map and making that rotation, preparing for the incoming of Guts Gaming, who are going to be looking to... Ooh, are they going to look in through this window though? Doesn't look like it, especially as that Inox has been used, so it's just going to cause Envy Taylor starting to move. And if you can force the position of those defenders, then that gives you a lot more space to move in as attackers. But about half the round is down now. Guts Gaming still haven't really made much of a move into the building. Crazy Papillon coming in through the hallway with Yura not too far behind. So we're starting to see this entrance here. And Shell starting to move in anticipation of them moving up.
Really like what Envy Taylor is doing right here together with Shell. Even though he gets spotted out, he gives the idea that he might have dropped down, but in the meantime he's all the way back in Visa again, able to go for a potential flank later on. So like, he didn't want to drop straight away, he wanted to stay alive. Oh no, he's actually in lobby right here, but close to Visa. And he didn't want to drop because that would just give too much away to the likes of Guts Gaming. They want to keep this pressure, they want to keep it with both their hands, and well, keeping Envy Taylor in a position to do that is definitely going to be keeping it with both your hands. As it gets tagged up just a little bit now, will decide to drop as a matter of that. It's going to be the pre-fire shot to come in, and that will be the entry from the likes of Cloud9 to come in. It's Crazy Papillon to go down. Lily will respond into Harper though. The Light in the meantime did get down. It's Sweet Black to get his first one in finally after, well, on the 13th round right here. Michelle going a bit more aggressive right here. We'll be able to tag down Yura up to about like 10 HP, but his life as a result, and we're in a 3-on-3 situation right now. Bandit charges are going to be shot out, which will allow JJ to go for the actual plant. And as they do that, we start to slow down with 20 seconds left. The execute soon to be coming in. It's going to be Cloud9 that will have to try and hold it off. It's going to be the smoke charge to be tossed through. A pre-fire of Envy Taylor to hit. He's on 19 kills right now, trying to push that 20 mark. Is not going to be able to get it as of yet. As JJ moves in, 11 kills for him. It's only up to Sweet Black now. It's a 1-on-2 situation. Is he going to be able to find both of them? Will get the first one. Knows the plant is going down. He knows that he has to push right now, but he is not going to be able to get it. No! JJ turns on him with the pistol and gets the one tap into the head of Sweet Black right here. Finishes the defuse as he wasn't quick enough on that smoke to get in. Gets the kill. And Guts Gaming yet again right here on a match point.
He brought out the shotgun and all he had to do was shoot him right in the skull, and he didn't get it. That was incredible there for Guts Gaming, that they were able to secure that for themselves. And I would imagine the Sweet Black is going to be sitting there kicking himself. Cloud9 are down but not out. They still have the option. Oh, it looks like maybe they're going to be on the wrong side. Question mark? Well, I'm sure they'll be dealing with that as they need to switch over to the attack.
Yeah.
But okay, they're going to do a rehost. They're going to make sure everybody's on the right side. But as I say, Cloud9, they're down but not out. There's still the opportunity for them to pull this forward for themselves. We did see that before. And it's kind of funny. I have to eat my words a little bit. I said at the beginning, both of these teams have done well on defense compared to the rest of the region. I expect them to do well on defense here. And actually, Cloud9 had a significant better attacking half, as did Guts Gaming. So now that Cloud9 is switching on over to their attack here in overtime, this could be where we start to see just those incremental rounds be added on and on and on, and it go on forever. I mean, I don't know if we'll be seeing some like SI 2019 level of forever, but I suspect that Cloud9 will be feeling a lot more confident going into this attacking round than they were in that last defensive round.
I don't think we have infinite overtime right here now, so I doubt we're going to be going to see a coastline to be repeated, but we might see an 870 come in from either of these teams, which would be the maximum we could go to, as we're just quickly getting that rehost done, as mentioned before. But absolutely, Envy Taylor having a blast of a game, running right now, I believe, on 19 kills and about 4 deaths in total, so definitely a power to be reckoned with from the likes of Cloud9. Might be the only reason why they actually did not lose it out as soon as they went over to their attack. No, towards the defense side or attack side. I don't remember anymore. But they were 5-1 behind. And Envy Taylor really stepping it up right there to get it with Shah, making sure that Cloud9 stayed alive, managed to get the comeback going. Right now find themselves in overtime. Yet again, though, 1 round behind, and that means a match point behind.
I mean, I really want to talk about, you mentioned Shah there. In that last round, there were a couple of shots where the first of which it looked like he wasn't going to get it, and the second of which he didn't. But they didn't look like too difficult shots. And I never want to be the person who's sitting on the sidelines like, that was easy. I would have been able to do that. Why didn't you do it? Because it just doesn't work that way. But Shell is someone who's very much known as being a good shot and being a good fragger, and seeing him kind of whiff up a couple of those shots in that last round, a little bit concerning, because I feel that had he been able to get them quite securely, that would have been a much stronger position for Cloud9 to be in. So I hope looking into this next round that not just Envy Taylor is going to be doing well in that regard, but Shell getting back to old form. And it's not even like old form is referencing something from, eons ago. We're just talking a couple of rounds, right? Shell's certainly had his moments in this series so far, and he needs to be bringing those back out going into this next round if they don't want Guts Gaming to be taking the entire series.
Yeah, definitely none. Well, we are slowly waiting for everybody to just get back in, and then we finally get to see that the final moments of this matchup to see who will be taking the win, whether or not it's going to be Guts Gaming, who basically had 4 match points but weren't able to close any of them. As Cloud9 managed to close the gap, bring it to 6-6, go to that overtime. That surely must have felt like hits Guts Gaming in the fields and be like, ooh. Or hit him in the guts. I think I should have said that.
In the fields.
I should have said to hit him in the guts, but I went for the fields. I'm 13 years old. Yes. Hello.
Man, I haven't heard that term in a long time. I think it's also kind of interesting looking back at the last couple of Playdays and seeing that Guts won their last series that they played against Cyclops on Villa 8-6. So that was an overtime game. Cloud9, this is the first time they've come to overtime in this competition so far. But Guts Gaming have been in that situation before, and they have pulled through. Whether or not they'll be able to do that again is obviously something a little bit different. Cyclops haven't necessarily been showing up to the same level that these two teams are. And I think it's a testament to the fact that they're both being such good representatives for their sub-regions and have both come in with so much fervor into this competition that they are being able to take each other so far. I mean, we got to the end of the first half and Cloud9 only had one round, and I was thinking, oh my God, this is going to be a stomp, and we're going to see that Japan is so definitively stronger than Korea, and everyone's going to be talking about it. But actually, that just doesn't seem to be the case. And I find it really interesting when you look back to the audience predictions. 70% of people thought Guts were going to win, and 30% thought that Cloud9 was. That is not representative of the actual back and forth that we have seen so far in this game.
No, it's also like these public votes, kind of a popularity contest. And we know that the Japanese side of things are very happy to let their voice be heard and support their favorite teams. And you would think that Cloud9, such a big name in esports, would be easily able to beat that. But especially Japan is just stronger in polls than Cloud9 brand.
Very, very popular. I mean, that's why we went to Tokonami, right? But I mean, I didn't go, so
I didn't go either.
We can be sad together.
Some people here on the lineup went. We'll see them later again. But first, we're gonna have to finish this matchup, which will be happening soon, of course. But now we will be having Cloud9 to go up to the attack again. Attack seems to be favored over this map, as we so far have seen 11 rounds to be won on attack, and only, I believe, 2 onto the defense, which is really not too well for Cloud9, knowing that after this round, if they manage to win it, they will be going back to the defense, so they really will have to give it their all to make sure that they will be able to get that win in. So, do you think Guts Gaming, due to the fact that they have the attack twice in overtime, should be the ones that probably are most likely to win it here?
Well, I mean, this is the thing, is that's why we're having this rehost, right? So that Cloud9 can go back in on the attacking side. So it isn't going to be that much of a skewed thing. And I think given what we saw from Cloud9's attack, theirs is very strong. Now, obviously, as you say, if it does go on into that next overtime round where it could be an 8-7 scoreline that we end up with, I think the Guts Gaming attack has looked good, but I think Cloud9's defense on that last round also looked good until it didn't. And by that, I mean that there were a couple of silly mistakes, like what I mentioned with Charles' shots, which really shouldn't have necessarily happened. I think that Cloud9 could hold it on the defense. It really depends what site they go to, but I don't want to write it off entirely. I think Guts do maybe have the advantage in that situation because just both of these teams have been so definitively better at the attack. But I don't want to outright say, oh no, yeah, Cloud9, they're not going to win the defense, because actually it looked relatively close, at least more than we saw perhaps in the regular part of the series.
Oh, but the last defense was also a bit closer than we would like it to see. Like, Cloud9 should have been able to shut it down a little bit beforehand. And I think something that's missing is just the pure form of electrification to make sure that these termites can be stalled just a bit longer, force them to go for the piano hold first. Because, to be honest, Cloud9 is a very heavy piano hold. It really takes a lot of effort for Guts Game to try and punch through that. And in the end, they just pushed aside anyway by the actual breach. So, I think that if you would be playing a Bandit there or a Kaid, it would be suddenly a lot easier to hold on to that garage, as all you need to do is just place a shield towards the yellow stairs. Be sure you can play right behind it, and suddenly you're all good, right? It's such a simple solution. It looks like. However, there might be a reason in the strategy of Cloud9 with an operator that can really not swap out for such a player.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it is that they do decide to do. It shouldn't be too long before we're back in the game. We had to have a little bit of a cooldown before the rehost was able to be done. So don't worry, it's all coming back. It should be very, very soon. And we'll actually get to find out for ourselves how this goes. I'm going to be kind of interested to see if, the fact that they have this time on the rehost should give the teams a little bit of an opportunity to discuss amongst themselves what it is they want to do, how they want to go about it. Of course, Cloud9 probably have a strong idea of how they want to go about their attack. We mentioned both these teams have been doing very strongly on the attack so far. But importantly, it'll give Guts Gaming the opportunity to discuss how they want to go about the defense. And as you say, that's something that needed a little bit of improvement, especially as Cloud9 on their attacks they've had to take a little bit of time to sort of pick away at it at the start. But then once they've been able to get that kind of little crack that they needed to open up, they've been able to just rush in, be very aggressive, get the kills that they required, and they actually managed to get 3 plants while on their attacks as well. So it's not even like they've been playing purely for elimination, they've been playing around the objective too. Now, Guts Gaming are going to have to figure out amongst themselves what it is that they can do going into this next round to prevent that from happening. They made a couple of changes. For example, when they brought the castle and the vigil, and they wanted to try and have a little bit more of a roam protect that vigil and kind of deny some of the intel. But it didn't work because MV Taylor was holding on to that angle, and at the end of the day, he was just better. But finally, we're starting to see a couple of these replays first, just before we head back into the game. This was that fateful shot that Sweet Black went for and missed, and JJ just turned things around, got the shot off, and that allowed Guts Gaming to get round 13.
You saw that Goya shield on the left side of the black car. If you would have shot a shotgun on that, that would have been a round win, because that would have exploded, instantly killed him, and
it's
whether or not he was on the black car. Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
It's
so
heartbreaking.
Just a micro decision, right?
So close. And that's what I mean is like Cloud9 could have done it, right? They could have done it. They were so close to getting that round. And the fact that I think the fact that what went wrong is something that is actionable means that if they go on to the second defensive overtime round, they could discuss that between themselves after having this time and be able to implement some of the changes that they would need to do and maybe avoid some of those same mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. The mistakes that have been made before, just these small micro decisions on trying to go for the active peak or going for the Goyo shield, would be what could be round changing there. And of course, he might not have known that he was on so low HP. If that was not the case, that might have been if he was full HP, that might have not been the instant kill to come through. But still, the flames would potentially burn him down a bit more. It's all these small little things we have mentioned time and time again that you just simply throw a round completely the different direction. And that, it could have been Cloud9 right now to be on the match point, knowing that they go into the attack, which is heavily favored statistically, especially in this matchup. But, well, it's unfortunately not the case. And with that, we will find ourselves in a 7-6 yet again. Guts Gaming able to lead the charge right here, and yet again are going to be able to make at least one mistake. Not more than that, because otherwise they would lose the entire match. But one mistake they can afford to make. And, they're looking quite strong right now with the opportunity to get this full match in.
Yeah, and it would be a great situation for them to be able to do that. Obviously, we're still waiting to be able to get back into the game. It is being worked on at the moment. Hopefully, it shouldn't be too long. But I think it's really exciting because we've seen so much value come out from so many of the players today. We spoke about how Sweet Black maybe has been having a bit of a hard time, not doing quite so well. We did, of course, see that issue, the fateful issue that we had on that last round. But I wanted to talk about JJ a little bit. And actually, he was that player who we did see manage to turn around, get that shot onto Sweet Black and secure the round for Guts Gaming. Now, he's obviously been playing a lot of the support roles and he's been doing a lot of the planting, but actually he's been getting a decent number of kills as well, Hap. And even if we look into the last game that they played, JJ, he had the worst stats of the game, but actually his rating was 0.97. And usually when you say someone got the worst stats of the game, 0.97 is not the rating that you're looking at. You're looking way below that. And he got a positive KD. He came away with 10 kills, negative entry, which is kind of unsurprising given his role. But the point is he was actually doing a decent amount of work then, and we've seen potentially even more from him this time. And the fact that Guts know that they have a player like that who isn't limited by the fact that he's playing that support role and he doesn't require all of this extra attention and help from the rest of the team, which is going to prevent them from applying it elsewhere, that adds a lot of value and a lot of potential efficacy to the side of Guts Gaming when they come into these situations.
Yeah, definitely so. And well, we can keep on talking about it, but there is really nothing we can really predict in this case. There's so many different factors to it, which led to both teams losing out rounds they could have won, but also winning rounds they shouldn't have. And in the end, it is all going to be coming down to one of those little mistakes again, most likely in the next round to come. It could just as well be Cloud9 just run in, manage to gun everybody down, but it could just it could also be the fact that they want to go for an execute, but they make a little mistake. And due to that, Guts Gaming is able to hold on, turn the tide of the round completely and win the round. Like, there's so many things that can happen right now. These teams are so matched against each other that one little mistake can mean the end of the round straight away.
And like, I would love to believe that Cloud9 have it in them to turn things around. Things looked really, they looked kind of downward spirally, to put it kind of euphemistically, in the first half. They started to scrape things back in the second, and now we're in overtime. I want to be seeing some of that again. We are getting back into the game now, of course, guys, so thank you so much for holding on. And we'll be going to lobby and press for Guts Gaming's overtime defensive round.
All right. Is Guts Gaming going to be able to get the win in here? Are they going to be able to get their 8th round on the board? Or is it going to be Cloud9 that manages to bring it back? Seem a very similar kind of setup to come out from the likes of Guts Gaming. However, they are going to lobby press. And as Nova will be swapping out to Habana, I can only think that that has been the right choice, as a thermite not really necessary for lobby press, so can only be aiding them to have that Type 89, which is still a very frag-heavy gun, especially on the hands of someone like Shaiko. And of course, a bit more versatility on the likes of the X-Caros, able to open up multiple lines of sight. Especially, for example, in this bathroom right here, if you manage to open up from bench, open up the barricade right behind it, you can make sure that the bathroom, you cut it in half and make it basically unplayable for any of the defenders down there.
You, of course, have the option to use it against the mirror window. I don't suspect that that's what they will do, but the choice is there if you decide to do it. I think it's also interesting that Guts Gaming, on their previous defenses of this site, they have opted to go for the Ela, which they 6-pick off of on this round. Instead, they're bringing the Mozzie. So you have the Mute Mozzie combination, still trying to focus on preventing that intel availability to Cloud9, which they have been able to use particularly well. I spoke earlier about how Cloud9 have been able to hold on to their drones pretty well, get them in good positions, get a lot of that information required. You can actually see one of the pests right there, just by the window, and, well, instead of allowing the drone to jump through, JJ's just going to be shooting it down, avoiding the flash as he jumps back down into Piano.
It's actually a smart thing to shoot down the drones when you can, because it's still going to be letting the pest to be in control, and as long as you're present there, you can still try and deny these drones, right? With that, you deny their information as well, but still get that pest active. So when they throw up a second drone, they might be able to hack that one. As you're right here, we'll be taking down Harper. That means no phone calls to be coming in from the likes of Cloud9, and definitely a great advantage to come down right here from the likes of Guts Gaming. However, a double rappel to go up onto that bathroom window. One onto the... Yeah, indeed, ouch. The angle being held by Nova, as they were basically pincering him from 3 sides. We're dropped back up in a 4-on-4, and the round is far from over yet. We have about 100 seconds on the clock. We're slowly ticking down.
And that's the, oh, nice C4 there from JJ. But I was going to say, that's the second time now that we've seen a Jaeger in that position get caught out by Cloud9 because of that triple pincer. So the fact that Yura has gone down, really Guts Gaming should have kind of been expecting something similar. Now Cloud9 have been able to take some of the space here on that west side of the map. They're just waiting for MV Taylor to see if he can get an angle. Looking in here towards the bathroom. It didn't work that great before. They tried to draw Lily out by making the plant last time. So it'll be interesting to see if this does end up working. Light is just watching the yellow stairs from behind the car. But so far, no one looking like they're going to be entering in through there, as the player from Cloud9 decided to go rappel instead.
And going on to the rappels, seeming like they want to go into the piano yet again, as this worked for them before. JJ will be actively denying all these drones to come in, and because of that, only one player, his position has been given away. Will be held with the upside down right now to come through. Shao is going to be trying to clear out any evil eyes or any utility that might be located in this position, but has to be careful for him not potentially being flanked from either bench or below of yellow. As right now he will be peeking in, gets the pre-fire onto light. The plant now going down from Nova right there, so that will be putting C9 into a good position, but he actually gets taken down. It's Crazy Papillon to make sure that that doesn't go through. Is a pre-fire again to come through. It's a trait from both these players, only up to NV Taylor now, but who else to go for the clutch? Well, not it's Guts Gaming that win it in the end. After, well, a quick rehost to come through, maybe broke up the momentum just a little bit, but it was enough for Guts Gaming to get their defense all together And with that, 8-6 will be the final score, and it's Guts Gaming that knocked down Cloud9 from their undefeated streak. And we'll make sure that they are the first one to put one on the board.
Cloud9 just couldn't get it together there at the end. Disappointing for them that they finally come face to face with their first loss. They still remain the champions of Korea here in APAC North, but they will be overtaken there by the Japanese team. A fantastic series though. We saw some great things come out of both these teams. Some real, ferocity from both sides, but ultimately Guts Gaming were able to adapt, able to change, and we will never know for sure, but maybe that rehost giving them an opportunity to start talking about how they were going to apply their defense gave them the edge that they required. But I have to say, as much fun as it's been to cast this, I'm really interested to know what the analysts think.
Thank you so much, Gio. Yeah, it was fantastic listening.